O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
So, London, 1944. Bombs from the Blitz are, like, literally falling outside. But inside this tiny caravan, the so-called wickedest man in the world and a 60-year-old politician's wife are meticulously arguing over the exact geometric shape of a painted sword. Welcome to today's deep dive, crafted specifically for you.
It's such an incredible, almost cinematic visual, isn't it?
Right. Our mission today is to extract the most fascinating practical insights from Lon-Mila Duquette's book, Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. Okay, so let's unpack this. We are basically bypassing the really intimidating occult jargon to uncover how a complex magical system got distilled into a legendary deck of cards.
And the creation of this deck is just wildly improbable. I mean, you have Aleister Crowley demanding these incredibly strict mathematical specifications for every single color and symbol.
Like a super rigid architect working with a visionary designer in a literal war zone.
Exactly, yeah. And his partner, Lady Frida Harris, wasn't just taking dictation. She was a really serious student of projective synthetic geometry.
Wait, projective synthetic geometry? I mean, I'm losing the thread already.
Yeah.
What does that actually look like on a tarot card?
Well, think of it as a mathematical way of drawing that creates an optical illusion. It makes a totally flat card look like it has deep three-dimensional tunnels or like a lattice of energy behind the images.
Oh, wow. So it looks almost hallucinogenic.
Totally hallucinogenic. She used that math to give the paintings this multi-dimensional depth. And because her art relied on these really strict geometric rules, she actually pushed Crowley to turn what was supposed to be a quick 6-month update into this massive 5-year project.
5 years. That is wild. So if the art is built on all this strict math, how does that actually translate to the underlying meaning of the cards?
Right, so that visual structure ties directly into the mathematical engine Crowley really demanded, which is the Kabbalah. Duquette explains that the Thoth deck is built on something called the Naples arrangement.
The Naples arrangement.
Yeah, it's basically a philosophical model showing how nothing, like literally zero, evolves into reality through the numbers 1 to 10. And the numbers aren't random at all. Like a 6 always reflects conscious harmony, while a 5 always represents disruptive motion.
Okay, wait. Is this essentially upgrading humanity's spiritual operating system? Like moving from an outdated guilt-based program to a mathematical balance-based one?
That is a perfect way to put it, actually.
Yeah.
Crowley mapped this exact mathematical progression onto human spiritual evolution. He believed humanity was entering the new aeon of Horus, replacing old concepts of sin with individual sovereignty.
Hold on. He even renamed the major cards for this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, changing justice to adjustment, that sounds incredibly cold and mechanical.
It is cold, but it's intentionally cold. Adjustment implies a universal mathematical calibration. He really wanted to remove the whole idea of a human judge banging a gavel and replace moral guilt with objective cosmic balance.
Interesting. So if the entire deck relies on this exact elemental math, what happens when you actually use it? Do you have to, memorize a textbook just to read a spread?
No, and that is where Duquette's book really shines. He introduces this good news, bad news formula. You don't just memorize things. You derive the meaning by combining the card's number with its elemental suit.
Okay, give me an example of how that works.
Sure. So take the 3 of Swords. We know the number 3 represents limitation, right? And the suit of Swords represents the air element, which is the intellect.
Right, so when you apply mathematical limitation to the intellect, the natural result is sorrow. It's literally chemistry.
Exactly.
Which makes me wonder, if the deck relies entirely on this exact formula, what happens if a card is dealt upside down? Does that break the math?
Well, the Thoth deck actually rejects the whole idea of reversed or upside down cards entirely. Instead, they use elemental dignities.
Well, what are those?
It basically means the meaning of a card is either strengthened or weakened by the elements of the cards sitting right next to it.
I love this concept so much. It's exactly like cooking chemistry. A fire card isn't inherently bad, but if you surround it with water cards, the ingredients clash, right?
Yeah, the water literally extinguishes the fiery energy. You have to read the whole recipe, not just stare at a single ingredient.
That makes so much sense. And honestly, reading Duquette, he manages to explain all this complex chemistry with a surprising amount of humor.
Oh, totally. He uses laughter almost as an initiatory tool to destigmatize Crowley and just make high magic accessible for regular people.
He definitely makes it clear that the Thoth deck isn't some cheap, fortune-telling crystal ball. It acts way more like a mirror, reflecting your own consciousness and, the mechanics of the universe itself.
And that actually brings us to a final mystery Duquette leaves for you to ponder. In the very last card, the universe card, Duquette links Frida Harris's complex geometric lattice directly to the actual structure of the atom.
Wait, the actual structure of the atom?
Yes, and the macrocosmic order of the solar system.
Wow.
So if his analysis is correct, you really have to ask yourself, how much of modern macrophysics was quietly encoded into a 1940s watercolor painting? It's definitely something to think about the next time you're dealt a hand.